Home of the Parsons family, the Earls of Ross, since 1620. The first castle was an Anglo-Norman castle which was built on the edge of the garden terraces in 1170. The O'Carrolls, an influential Gaelic family, also built a castle on site and lived there until the late 1500s. After the death of Sir Charles O'Carroll, Sir Lawrence Parsons died 1628, was granted Birr Castle and 1,277 acres of land in 1620. Parsons engaged English masons in the construction of a new castle. This construction took place not on the site of the O'Carroll's Black Tower, now disappeared, but at its gatehouse. Flankers were added to the gatehouse diagonally at either side, giving the castle the plan it retains today. After the death of Sir Lawrence Parsons and of his elder son Richard, the castle passed to his younger son William. During the Irish Rebellion of 1641, William was besieged at Parsonstown, as Birr was then, by Catholic forces for 15 months. After the Civil War, William's son Lawrence refurbished the castle. A later descendant, Lawrence Parsons, the second Earl of Ross, also engaged in some rebuilding and heightened and Gothicized the castle in the early 19th century. In turn, his son, the third Earl of Ross, was responsible for the construction of the Great Telescope here at Birr. When completed in 1845, it was the largest telescope on Earth and capable of capturing more light and seeing further into space than any telescope had done before. Therefore, Birr became a focus for astronomical observations, and visitors came from all over the world. The suspension bridge here at Birr Castle Demesne is the oldest wrought iron suspension bridge still in use in Ireland, built between 1821 and 1825. Spanning the River Camcore, this historic single-span footbridge was conserved in 2023. It is a key picturesque attraction within the gardens of the County Offaly estate. When the third Earl died, his sons continued the scientific tradition, and Lawrence Parsons, the fourth Earl of Ross, is noted for measuring the heat of the moon. After his death in 1908, however, the telescope fell into disrepair. The mirror was taken to the Science Museum in London, and circa 1914, the telescope's metal supporting structure was melted down to be used in the First World War. In 1925, the wooden structures around the walls were demolished for safety reasons. The domain here at Birr runs south and southeast of Birr town centre. The public entrance is through a courtyard. There is no direct public access to the castle, which faces into the domain, with an internal gate on a bridge over a dry moat separating the castle's inner surrounds from the broader parkland. Birr's main river, the River Camcore, enters the domain near the castle and continues through a pond to flow into the Little Brosna River, which in turn marks the border between counties Offaly and Tipperary, and then flows on to the Shannon. The domain is open to the public for a fee, with an annual subscription available for Friends of Birr Castle Demesne. The castle grounds are also home to Ireland's Historic Science Centre, a museum of Ireland's historic scientists and their contributions to astronomy and botany. The museum lies within a courtyard off William Street. Its displays touch on astronomy engineering, photography, botany, and other topics. Lawrence Parsons, the 4th Earl of Ross, and his mother, Mary Parsons, Countess of Ross, were eminent photographers, and her darkroom, which is also on show within the museum, is believed to be the oldest surviving example in the world.
Just telescope in the world. Well, I suppose some view me as the woman behind the man, but not here in Birr. Here, I'm proud to say, a woman's intellectual pursuits are recognised and valued as much as any man's.
We're here at St. Brendan's Well, a remnant of the monastic site founded by St. Brendan the Elder in the 6th century. Fed by spring water from a limestone aquifer, the pure water from the well is still used by the castle. The walled gardens in the grounds here at Birr Castle Demesne feature box hedges that are over 300 years old. They are also, according to the Guinness Book of Records, the tallest hedge in the world. The formal gardens were designed by Anne, 6th Countess of Ross, to celebrate her marriage to the 6th Earl, Michael, in 1935. These spring wildflower meadows have not been ploughed since at least 1620. The grass is let grow long in spring each year to allow wildflowers, bees and wildlife to flourish. The Carol oak, planted in the time of the O'Carrolls, is now over 500 years old. This telescope was built by the 3rd Earl of Ross in 1845 and was the biggest telescope in the world for over 70 years, from 1845 to 1917. The telescope was so big that it became known as the Leviathan of Parsonstown, named after a huge mythical sea monster. The reflecting telescope was built in the Birr Castle workshops, and the speculum mirror at the bottom of the tube is 1.8 meters in diameter. The tube itself is 17 meters long. The Earl explored the skies at night, looking through the brass eyepiece at the side of the telescope. The movable viewing platform meant he could stay in position at the eyepiece while the telescope moved. As the telescope was raised to the skies, the Earl used ladders to reach the viewing platform at the top. With this monster telescope, the Earl could see further into space than any telescope that had seen before. The Earl sketched the images he saw through the telescope using charcoal or chalk by the light of a lamp. He used a red lamp so that his night vision could not be affected. When compared to modern photographs taken by the Hubble telescope, his sketches were amazingly accurate.